Car Warehouse. I'm Junior, and today for our next car review, I have a pretty big, cool car. 1968 Mustang convertible, but not your average pony car, right? 428 Cobra Jet, fuel injected. This one we've actually done a little bit of work to, so it's got the GT500 style wheels, except they're a little bit larger to accommodate the 6-piston Willwoods that we stuffed underneath there, and then I went with the 4-piston Willwoods in the rear. As you can see, this has the decal package on it. We also added a cloth top to it, which is super nice. The interior was already perfect, but I basically wanted to go through the car and mechanically kind of update it. As you can walk around, you see all that the chrome is nice and bright and fresh. There's nothing kind of silly done to the car. I wanted to modify it, but really tastefully, so we went ahead and stayed with the kind of stock-ish looking wheels. These are factory to a 68 Ford GT500. These are actually manufactured by Scott Drake, and these ones are actually in a custom offset for this car. And we wanted to make sure that we had enough clearance to fit these big old Willwoods that we have stuffed under here. Going up to underneath the hood, you'll see that we have a lot of structural bracing done. This is a TCI bracing package that we've added, and it's also got a bracing package underneath the subframe and the Monte Carlo package. So this one is all Heim ends, fully adjustable. We also have tucked underneath, hidden there, a Holley Sniper EFI. We added a classic Auto Air AC kit, and we custom made the bracketry for that because it wanted to have the compressor out here, which would have interfered with our chassis brace setup. So we went ahead and made all new custom bracketry to fit the stand-in compressor really close down in there. Added the Odyssey battery, modern style alternator. We added a lower profile booster so that way it could accommodate the bigger Willwood Master without running into the back of the strut tower here. Everything fits beautifully, and as you guys will see when we go on the test drive, this car runs awesome. We also added dual electric fans with the correct shroud behind a 4-core aluminum Champion radiator, so everything on the cooling side is great. The fans kick on with the AC compressor, so it pulls the hot air through the condenser as needed. Everything is just a full package on this car. I will close the hood and let's take a look at the interior. As you would expect on this car, factory style dash. Everything has just been refreshed and made to look like new. I really like the wood wheel on this one. 4-speed top loader transmission, which by the time you guys view this video will be out of the car because I'm going with either a TKO 500 or 600. I haven't decided if I wanted to go with the wide ratio or the close ratio version yet, but either way this car is getting a TKO because I love the feeling of how they shift. Beyond that, it's otherwise a normal looking Mustang interior. And that's kind of what I wanted to keep it as, but it's got all the power in the world with the 428 and the EFI, or at least plenty for a convertible cruiser car. So with that being said, I think it's time for us to jump in and take a little cruise. Alright guys, we're all loaded up and we're ready to go take a test drive. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I did do the Holley EFI Sniper kit on this, and I actually made another video if you check my channel just specifically about the EFI kits. But basically the long and short of the video is the Holley Sniper EFI kit is the one that I endorse and recommend and install on my own customer vehicles and my own cars. So Holley Sniper, push in the clutch, turn it on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to let the fuel pump prime, and then you'll hear click click. It fires the injectors. It's basically simulating you pushing the throttle on your carbureted car. So with the turn of the key, it should fire right up like that every single time if it's installed correctly and everything is done to Holley specs. I've installed this on big blocks, on small blocks, Fords, Chevys, even 2-barrel Cadillacs. I've done the Holly Sniper. They make a couple different kits to accommodate the different engines, but it starts and runs like this every single time, no matter what engine I put it on, and that's why I endorse it so much. The throttle response is crisp, instant. It feels like a small block car comes alive, but obviously this is the 428, so it's got a whole bunch of torque. Another reason why I'm going with a TKO transmission versus this top loader, I think we're probably about at the top side of what it's going to want to handle without giving us any issues. So the TKO from Tremec is going to be a worthy upgrade on this. Let's go ahead and get it on the road. Factory rear end ratio in this car. It's got a tall first gear, which is what I like for city driving. I don't want to run out of first gear by 5 miles an hour. We'll go ahead and pan forward, and I'll get on the gas a little bit and show you guys what it's like from a stop. Just going to roll into it. 0 to 60 run. 6-piston Willwoods stop this thing without any problem at all. No pulsation, no pulling. It's got plenty of brakes to match the 428 power. This car, we've done the wheels, tires, brakes. The suspension is stock. It's not lowered, but it's all brand new and fresh. So we really didn't see any reason on this car why we would want to mess with it. It rides beautifully. This thing is a cruiser car that's been updated to modern specs. It's got modern air conditioning, the EFI, the wheels and tires and the brakes kind of give it a more modern look. But for all intents and purposes, this car keeps what makes it so special in that it's a classic car. A lot of the times when you go with a full Pro Mod build, or I guess anything really too much further than this, you start losing the classic car out of it, and you get to making it into a new performance car. Car sounds awesome. No drone whatsoever. Really a fun little convertible. Gotta appreciate the 428, guys. Well, with that being said, I think this kind of concludes our test drive. If you like what I've done today, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you have any comments, please add so below. And thanks you guys for joining me. Take care. She's off! What? Well, you're going too fast. Push in the clutch. Push the brake. I think you're in third gear. You know, and then at the end, I'm like, I don't have words to say.